Okay, so Nintendo Switch 2 just got released recently, and I didn't buy it. I was never a Nintendo bro. Um I'm just curious to see how everyone else is like looking at it. Like I'm just feeling out the scene. But Nintendo Switch 2 proves the industry's nightmares true from Endymion TV.
The Nintendo Switch 2 has officially been released into the wild and has already lit a firestorm within the hearts of both eager players and left holes in their wallets as they all swarm to buy the latest console and the many games and accessories
The
for what
mouse.
is likely going to be the company's biggest launch yet. The Switch 2, by the way,
Really?
is packing a 7.9-inch 1080p display with a 120Hz refresh rate, as well as
Okay.
HDR and 4K output when docked at least, which is an upgrade over the original console. So we're talking sharper visuals, smoother gameplay, and the ability to run games like Elden Ring and even Cyberpunk
Oh
2077 in
dang.
both gameplay modes too. So
Surely it'll run cooler than the older Switch, right?
okay, make no mistake that this beefed up hardware could drag Nintendo into the modern era finally, and give us a console that doesn't look like it's rendering Mario in say 480p on a potato from 2017 like before. But is this enough to push people to pay what Nintendo is asking? Of course, there's also the games. Mario Kart World drops day one for $80 American digitally. It has
Oh yeah, like this is a farce, dude. The $80 price tag on this shit. Get out of here, dude. I mean, for people that got the money, I mean, it don't matter to them. It's whatever. It's just another day. But everybody else that is not made of money. Oh man, we are seething.
an open world and promises to deliver that fun gaming experience that everyone expects from Nintendo's premier kart racer. And the best part, probably, is thankfully that the Switch 2 has backwards compatibility, which means that
Hmm.
your old Switch library isn't bricked, well, mostly, but we'll get into that one later.
Oh,
So, if Nintendo nails all of this, they could push the industry forward, proving that you don't need a PS5 Pro to deliver next generation games, but all you need is this handheld hybrid instead. But is all of this enough from the innovation, the portability, and Nintendo's magic touch to
the mouse feature on this thing. Like this is the mouse skates, this little like pill thing and like this little U down here. Ugh.
make this thing a winner in the long run? And is this the shot in the arm that console gaming needs to fight mobile and PC dominance in the long run? Well, that all depends.
Maybe?
Firstly, if you can afford the thing at all. Switch 2 retails at $450 American, which is $150 more than the original Switch at launch, and the Mario Kart World bundle
Dang.
will set you back an eye-watering $500. This
So wait,
is 100
$449 for Switch 2. How much is the Steam Deck? Steam Deck price. Have you guys seen this feature? This is like the weirdest thing. You can like just grab the item and just like spin it around. Like it's crazy. Wait. Whatever. Something went wrong. But let me see. Steam Deck price. Where is this? Shopping. I mean, Valve Steam Deck handheld console. I mean, the Steam Deck is, but this is the price on Amazon. About $470 on Amazon. Is it the same on Steam? Well, let me see on Steam. So I go to store. Steam Deck. Oh, look at this. It's out. Oh yeah, $400 on Steam. Oh, okay. I'm just looking. 400 on Steam. 470 on Amazon. I don't know why. Is it like a different model or whatever? But then 450 for this thing, and you can dock it, play it on TV, or you could travel with it. So it's like kind of competing against the Steam Deck, or what's that like Asus Republic of Gamers handheld thing? The other one, I forgot the name of it, but it's also competing against that too. But also Nintendo has all the exclusives that go along with it. Like whenever you get like the Nintendo Switch 2, it's like you can only play Nintendo games, I think. But like if you get the Steam Deck or the Asus Republic of Gamers doodad, you get all of Steam. And just game for game library wise, Steam is just greater than all of Nintendo. It just is.
$150 more than the original Switch at launch, and the Mario Kart World bundle will set you back an eye-watering $500. This doesn't even begin to describe how base games are now $80 digital and $90 physically. Analysts like Matt Piscatella from Circana, for example, are already warning this could shift the console market to richer and older gamers, and actually end up leaving the kids and the casual players behind, which are Nintendo's bread and butter, in the dust in the future. As
Yeah, like it's so weird because brand wise, Nintendo was always like the family friendly, casual gaming console thing. And the hardcore brands were like Xbox and PlayStation. But now it's like is it like essentially like just full circle of like if you're getting a Switch and you got money, chances are you probably suck at games and you just want the casual experience, but because of that, you have to pay like a little bit more, but you don't care about it because it's like whatever, it's a drop in the bucket. But the more well, I don't even know what I'm saying now cuz like Nintendo is just every which way. Like I don't even know. Like you have to be like you have to have a lot of money to invest in the Switch.
Matt Piscatella said here via Blue Sky, he begins with, console buyers, y'all are getting old, but at least you seem to be making more, so you have that going for you, which is nice.
It's like everybody is trying to like read the minds of the masses. It's like if you're buying this, chances are you're an older gamer, you have a job, you probably have a family, statistically. And like if you deviate from like any of these things, it's like well, there's like an issue or something.
Matt continues with this. High-income households are becoming a bigger part of the U.S. console hardware market. 49% of U.S. video game console buyers during Q4 2024 had a household income of at least $100,000 a year. This is a record high, beating the 48% seen in Q4 2021. This group accounted for only 29% of video game hardware purchasers in Q1 2020. Matt,
well, let me see. High income households are becoming bigger part of the US console hardware market. Well, like what is the implication here? That's what I'm trying to assess. What is okay, so what is this? So just from the United States. So whatever the percentage of high income households are, they are engaging in the activities of video games. So if you played video games like 15, 20 years ago and you were brought up on video games, chances are you're still playing games. Chances are you have a job. Whether or not you make like 100K a year, he's just talking about the overall household. Statistically speaking, you not necessarily are you married, but like let's say you have like a situationship maybe, because you know like less and less people are getting married or whatever. um, you got at least two people in the household. Chances are you're making at least 50K a person a year. And is this just like the preferred hobby of like high income households? Because like a high income household can house two like middle class people, more or less, right? So what are more and more? Yeah, this is exactly what I predicted. Like people are just playing video games more because it's what they were brought up on, and all the people my age are just simply they're just choosing to go out less and just stay inside and play video games. Like, cause like the high income household, this what does the household imply? Does this imply like you're by yourself, or are you married, or simply is it just like a true in this house at least one or more people, the income of it is like 100K or more? How that happens is like it's whatever.
In quarter 4 2021. This group accounted for only 29% of video game hardware purchasers in quarter 1 2020. Matt had
So they are having a growing market of people that are people spending more on video games? Like, this is so weird, all these stats.
even more to say, which also says 45 plus year old buyers accounted for 45% of US console purchasers during quarter 4 2024.
Also a record high. The 40, and it doesn't matter like who they're buying it for, right? They're buying it for themselves, their kids, whatever. Like, this is just simply the age range bracket of people buying consoles.
Or also a record high, under 44-year-old buyers made up 55% of console purchasers in the quarter, a record low. During quarter 1 2020, under 44s made up 69%, nice, of purchasers, with 31% being 45 and plus.
Source Circana checkout. So like, let me try to get some implications. The old people are buying more consoles now. New consoles. Okay. Under 44, this is consoles. Under 44-year-old buyers made up 55% of console purchases in the quarter, a record low. So the same quarter, Q4 2024. During Q1 2020, under 44s made up 70% of purchases, with 31% being 45. Okay. So when the new console or the new game comes out, the older people are buying it, and then younger people are, I don't know what they're doing. They're either just not buying it, or they will buy it at a later date, waiting for it to go on sale. Or what are they doing? Are they just currently going back and playing like older games? Are they just sucked into just live service games, and the new game comes out and they're just like, nope, don't care, play my live service game, fuck it? Like, what's happening? Like, what is actually happening? Is video games as a hobby just getting killed? Well, I can't say it's getting killed, because, I mean, maybe it is. Because you could still have people wait for a game to come out, and then 6 months later, like when it goes on sale, have that younger person go buy that game because it's on sale and it doesn't cost as much because it's not day one.
So that's a lot of numbers. What do they mean? To summarize, based on the data that Matt Piscatella has analyzed, and he's a respectable source for this stuff, by the way, console gaming has largely transitioned from being an affordable alternative for kids or younger people to becoming far more of a luxury option for older players instead. The fact that 49% of American console buyers in Q4 of 2024, so that's the last few months of 2024, so that's very recent, were not only older, as in 40 plus years, but had average incomes of $100,000 a year, meaning kids are largely being left in the dust, if you will, to buy these things on their own. So case in point, gaming has gotten so expensive for the average consumer that most people can't really keep up or afford new releases anymore, never mind the consoles. I wager that an alarming amount of people who bought Switch 2s likely used credit cards because they couldn't even afford it but wanted it anyways. This is obviously because of FOMO, or fear of missing out, on such a big launch, but as Matt proves, if video games weren't already...
Yeah, FOMO is a very powerful motivator, apparently. I fell victim to it when I was a kid. I bought a ton of games on day one.
Expensive enough, they've just become something only a certain tax bracket can afford regularly going forward. And when looking at how many people actually meet this higher threshold that are able to realistically afford video games at release and buy things like Switch 2s when they do come out, it's very clear that the average person is just being priced out of affording these games on a regular basis, which is not a good thing considering you kinda need people to buy games in order for this whole thing to exist in the first place. Sure, some will say, but people bought tons of when the Switch 2 released, but you're comparing the launch of a new system versus months or even years down the line when people become more selective with what they buy. Always releases like a new console will lead to reckless spending due to the hype surrounding it. Like this guy on Twitter who you can see here who spent well over $1,000.
Jesus, it was a great start to the day. Bought the console. What is this, an extra controller? The Pro controller, the little wheels. Is this a mic? Or the camera? No, this is a camera. Zelda, Mario Kart, SF6, Cyberpunk, Hogwarts. What is this? A card? A Samsung. Oh, is this a memory chip, maybe? Samsung memory chip? Meebo. Coin. I mean, if you got the money, this is easily over close to $1,000.
And then some for all the accessories and such for their Switch 2 at release. What's crazy is that it's not only Nintendo getting away like bandits, everyone with games on Switch 2 at release are doing this right now. For an example, Cyberpunk Ultimate Edition is $100 Canadian on Switch 2 right now, but when I go look it up, it's sold out everywhere, which means that CD Projekt Red is making bank off the Switch 2 version of an older game that is much cheaper elsewhere. This is true of many other games too. Hogwarts Legacy, as seen here, is $80 Canadian at release digitally and $90 for the deluxe edition. Again,
damn. The $80 digital, $90 physical. That's crazy.
And for a game that is over 2 years old and much cheaper on other platforms.
So they are putting a stamp on it. Physical games are more valuable.
Already. Essentially, companies across the board are selling older games for premium prices right now due to the release of the Switch 2. And people are eating it up, which may seem good in the short term for studios, sure, but in the long term, this could only mean to embolden them to charge more if they keep getting away with it. However, we gotta be real, in a world where inflation's got us choosing between groceries and say a new Joy-Con, this pricing could also tank accessibility. And don't get me started on the whole tariff thing with, Trump's trade policies, which might jack up prices even further. And Nintendo's already dodging China for places like Vietnam and Cambodia when it comes to manufacturing more Switch 2s in the future. So if this thing bombs or even underperforms, which I doubt, but I mean, to be real with you, the industry kind of needs this to be a hit for the well-being of video games in the future. Because currently, according to Ampere's reports via Game Dev Reports as seen here in this article on screen, Ampere's analytics are currently seeing a trend of the game industry as seen here. That the game industry overall, if you can believe it, will grow by a measly 0.9% in
oh god, not even a whole percent
2025 overall in terms of value, with only about a 2.2% increase by 2026, bringing the whole industry to about $205.7 billion by the end of 26.
I mean, the billion number, I mean, I don't really care about it, but like, there's just less new people getting into games. Well, like I have to like, what's the let me read that again. Anticipate modest growth over the next couple of years. 0.9. Like, what do you mean growth? Are you talking about like unique new players playing video games? Well, the total market volume is expected to reach 205.7 billion by the end. Like, there's so many very like, what does growth mean? Like, obviously, like up, but like, what like are you talking about like kids with like rich parents or not necessarily rich parents, but like a kid that has parents that has bought them like a new console and like new games, does like that qualify for like a +1 growth or whatever?
Dollars by the end of 26. Not a great growth stat considering you have a whole new Switch console releasing right now.
And like understandably, there's probably going to be like some sort of like plateauing effect. I mean, we've already seen it in the case of Facebook. Facebook has damn near like global saturation in terms of like market brand recognition or like accounts just made on Facebook. Like, how many accounts? There's like over 7 billion accounts on Facebook. That's like the whole earth almost. Like, but like, there are more like Facebook accounts than people playing video games. All right, that's understandable. And I don't know. It just seems like with the increased price of the console and the games, it slows the growth of people just playing games because people want to jump in and play the new thing, which is fine. But like right now, it's a great time to like be like a video game person. Like I'm like playing on PC is great because you have an absolutely like metric shit ton of good ass games to play. But they're all like older. Nobody wants to play the older games. They're on sale. They've been around. They've been solved already. And I don't know. There's just like a whole bunch of things that you could like imply from all these stats.
When everyone from Borderlands to Xbox are planning to also jack their prices up to be more in line with Nintendo. And yet, despite these increases in price, we have to also ask ourselves if the bubble will just inevitably pop. And how can the
like, am I not a gamer because I like if I don't buy games on day one, am I not like a gamer? Is that what these stats are trying to imply? Like, let's say I play Borderlands 4. Let's say I play the new Mario Kart, but like I'm not gonna play it on day one. I might play it like a year or two later when the price goes down or something.
industry only grow by less than a single percent when Nintendo is out here releasing a whole new console. Maybe those numbers will get bigger in time and adjusted, but based on this, it means that the industry honestly could just flatline, and that's kind of scary. Sure, Nintendo's betting big on this, but are they betting on us to eat the cost in the long run, or is hubris finally catching up with the Mario people for once in their lives? And speaking of eating costs, let's call Nintendo out on their anti-consumer nonsense because, well, let's be real, they've been kind of busy with it. Firstly, the price gouging, $450 in the US, but in Japan, it's region locked and also cheaper. It's around $310 for the base model of the Switch 2. And why is
Oh, dang. You're pricing with like doing region specific pricing. Yeah, you guys got more money so you can pay more for it or whatever versus like the flat price across the board, all over Earth.
the rest of the world getting shafted, but Japan has a cheaper alternative? Surely language settings, which is the reason for the cheaper pricing cost, by the way, doesn't cost 25% or more for Nintendo to manage. It's kind of ridiculous. I guess we're just walking ATMs to people like Nintendo, and then you have the physical games. It's $90 physical for Mario Kart World and American, and guess what? Some cartridges are just download keys. You're paying premium for a plastic shell with
I mean, with that little comment right there, like Nintendo must think Americans are walking ATMs. Well, isn't that like what Trump proposes like all of America is? Aren't we like the best like country for like what do you call it? Um like consumers, like everybody wants access to the United States as far as like consumer base goes. Everybody has money here, but like where's all the wealth concentrated? It's only concentrated in like a couple like like most people like like so few people have so much money. Like most people only have like are making like 40, 50, 60K a year. And this is where like the disconnect is for me.
no actual game on it, which honestly is kind of insane. Then there's the whole backwards compatibility, which sounds great at first until you see the fine print. Nintendo's testing every single Switch game, but over 100 titles have issues, and stuff like the Labo VR kit straight up bricked and can't be played. As seen here, Labo won't work on Switch 2 at all, so it'll just be relegated to the first Switch and will likely just be largely abandoned. It's not the only game that won't work on Switch 2 compared to the first one either. Other games that have been confirmed to have issues with even launching on Switch 2 due to incompatibility issues include games like Alan Wake Remastered, Alien Isolation, and more. Even Mario Kart World is facing issues right now, as seen here from Insider Gaming. People who bought the game are getting error codes at launch, telling them that Mario Kart World has not been released yet, thus they can't play it even though the game is out and they obviously have the console. The issue is apparently tied to the Switch 2 bundles with Mario Kart included. Apparently this
Well, I mean, it sucks to be there on day one. I could have told you that, and that's kind of hilarious. Is that like issues for only the digital copy people, or is that an issue for the physical copy people? Like, let's say you bought a Nintendo Switch 2 and you got like the physical one, but you're like you don't go online with it, if that's even possible. Can you just play Mario Kart physical offline on day one? I mean, you probably have to, right?
the Switch 2's bundled with Mario Kart that has the Mario Kart graphic on the box, those are the ones specifically that can't redeem the game because the graphic box version is claiming to tell users that the code that they have is already redeemed. Anyway, this just means that anyone who bought the graphic box version of the Switch 2 with Mario Kart can play the game right now. And all of the Switch 2's games and features only work if Nintendo pretty much gives you the okay to use the thing you just bought. Otherwise, the console, despite being a hybrid handheld, can be bricked and become a useless paperweight pretty much in the future. It's not all bad, as seen here. The Switch 2 is allowing for faster load times on older games, which I mean, I hope so, because otherwise, what even is the point of all of this? For an example, older games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which ran like molasses on the original Switch, and to this day, those Pokemon games are the only ones I have yet to complete myself for the first time in that series ever. Because the quality of the experience and the performance of Violet on my Switch was so poor, the game was basically unplayable at times. But now if you buy a Switch 2 for $500, rest assured, your years old game will finally run at 60 FPS, as this article says here. Wow.
No shot Nintendo tried to play the long game and purposely made that version of that Pokemon game purposely slow only to make the next Pokemon game like that much more significantly faster. No way they played the long game.
These older games are finally transformable and they can finally be played and work as intended, except not really. Even with the Switch 2's beefier hardware as seen here, which reads, while it's not a completely locked frame rate with occasional minor drops to 55 FPS, particularly in biomes dense with foliage, these instances are rare, not noticeable in normal gameplay. So even with the Switch 2's upgrade, it still can't hold a stable 60 FPS on a 2-year-old game that looks the way that it does. And I know the writer here is trying to say, well, 55 is not bad, sure, but it's still not 60 FPS either way. And I don't know about you guys, but I think the bare minimum a console needs to do in 2025 is at least hit 60 FPS.
Fuck that. No way, dude. After going like above and beyond like 200 frames, it's a game changer. Like going back to like that 60 FPS or bullshit, that's just like a clown show.
Anything below that honestly is kind of pathetic no matter what, and there's really
Yes.
no excuse for it. In Pokemon Violet and Scarlet, they kind of look like phone games to begin with, so why are they stuttering at all is my question.
Yeah.
But Nintendo fans will defend their GOAT no matter what, because they can do no wrong no matter how subpar the products are anyways. And what about Nintendo Switch 2 World Tour? That game that everyone thought would be free but is actually like $10 or so, because Nintendo won't even give you a demo to see the features in your Switch 2 for free. Well, if you want to get 100% out of that demo, you better have money.
Oh, yeah, the little welcome tour thing. Right there. Oh my god, it's $10 for this little welcome tour. What a clown show.
Not $10, by the way. This comes from IGN and it's titled Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which everyone thinks should be free, requires $95 of accessories and a 4K TV for 100% completion.
Oh my god. I didn't take that into account. So in order for you to spend $10, you have to buy the $95 of accessories first. What is happening to gaming, dude? Why are people eating the dick salad like right in front of them?
Yeah, I wish I was kidding, but it's true. Why, you're asking? Certain mini-games in World Tour require Switch 2's camera, for example, to complete, which is, of course, an extra purchase. Not only that, but other features in mini-games require the GL and GR buttons, which are not present on the base Joy-Cons and can only be completed if you own a Pro Controller or charging grip, which are, of course, all bought separately. You also need a 4K supporting TV to complete another mini-game that is required in this $10 tech demo, so that kind of sucks too. So in total,
Are 4K TVs like very common nowadays? Like, understandably, on Steam, you have that little every 6 months they do the or 1 year they do the survey of like what's your hardware like, and then you just like essentially click a button and then send it all your physical information of your computer to Steam to give to developers to, you know, show them what do you call it, like this is the audience that we see on Steam, make your game fit this for most people. Okay, great, we'll do that. There's nothing like that, I believe, on consoles that where they collect the information from, like, well, maybe they do. Like, if a console like hooks up into a TV, can it just like send back information to either Nintendo, Xbox, or PlayStation of like what it's hooked up to? Probably, right? Or maybe not. I mean, I'm not sure, but there's no little survey like that I'm aware of on consoles, I think, right? So demanding people to have 4K TVs, that's like demanding PC gamers to, it's like you have to have like a 4080 or a 5080 or whatever the newest graphics card is. It's like you have to have this one.
if you want the most out of your $10 tech demo for your Nintendo Switch 2, you must pay in American dollars, by the way. As seen here, $54.99 for a Switch 2 camera, and either $39.99 for a charging grip or $84.99 for a Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller to use those GL/GR buttons. Oh, and don't you dare think to use the original Switch Pro controller to bypass that $85 American price point, by the way, because the original Switch Pro controller also doesn't have the required buttons needed. Thought you were slick, huh? Nope. You better fork over that money if you want to see everything that your Welcome Tour demo has to offer, which is, again, a $10 tech demo that should have been free in the first place. It's kind of sad to see, man, because Nintendo not even including a $10 tech demo.
Bro, the Nintendo Pro controller is like the new Apple iPhone of console controllers. It's like iPhone 1 to 2, Apple, or iPhone 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're essentially just getting like the same phone. And then once you're up to like 15, it's like, oh, we got the camera and extra lens. We got view the moon mode or whatever. And not much is like changed, or we like shrinked it by like a half a millimeter or something. That's what that seems like to me.
And they, back in the day, they had Wii Sports come included with like every Wii at that point. It was a full-fledged video game that was rightfully included to showcase how the Wii worked. And speaking of Wii's, sorry, I meant Mii's, the little avatars you can use on your Nintendo systems, as Polygon reports here, Mii characters are now genderless on Nintendo Switch 2. Yep, you heard that right.
So what? Mii characters now genderless on it's a less rigid system on. Oh boy, select a style for your Mii. So what, instead of like this being the guy and this being the girl, or the man, the woman, it's just no words, just select the one. Did they take the words male and female off of there?
Mii's are also now genderless. Oh boy.
Style 1 and Style 2? Is that what we're calling it now? No, don't make the Nintendo the fucking woke console. Oh my god.
See this guy on the left? Sorry, that's not a guy, that's a body type now. Same.
No, not body types again.
With this long-haired, suspiciously feminine-looking me on the right. What's
Oh,
a woman, I hear you ask? Sorry, I'm not a biologist, so I can't answer that without being thrown in the gulag, of course. Weirdly enough, we know this is all performative, since as seen here, the Wii that was introducing the Mii's originally clearly stated that Mii's only had 2 genders, but now it's 2025, stop being a bigot. And remember, gender is about as meaningless as your opinion on whether Nintendo charges more for their games or not.
well, what about Princess Peach? Is Princess Peach like a female or a male? Is Mario a male or a female?
Then we have this article from Fortune.com Asia titled, Nintendo Switch 2 could breathe new life into the video game giant if Trump's trade war doesn't upend it all. So basically, Trump put tariffs on a lot of Asian countries. I think we all know that. And this includes places like Cambodia, Vietnam, China, etc. And because of this, it has affected what things cost across the world for very obvious reasons. And the industry in general is looking for a genuine lifeline to bring the video game industry back to life. Currently, it's like I said, not growing at an exponential rate. That 0.9% increase is actually abysmal. It means that people aren't buying, which honestly might be a good thing if you want this industry to not become greedier in the future. However,
well, yeah, that's like the long game version of it. But like about the whole growth statistic, like what if you were like a console person for like many years, but then you decide to like start to become like a PC person? Like, oh, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna buy a PC, and I'm gonna get on Steam, and I'm gonna be like, oh, fuck the consoles. Like, are you like not a gamer because you played on like PC? Or was that statistic just about like console growth? Well, I could care less about console growth.
However, if you make games, you want to, of course, make more money, and it's hard to do so when people won't open their wallets. Especially, like I said earlier, how 49% of US buyers alone of consoles are now older people, meaning that it's pricing out the younger generation, which is not good considering you kinda need them to keep making profits. As Fortune puts it here, if the video game industry has a champion, it's Nintendo. They basically need Nintendo Switch 2 to be a massive success, actually more like an overperforming gangbuster success. Because it's really the...
There's no way I'm gonna come to grips with the fact that Nintendo Switch 2 is like the old person console brand for old people. No way.
Only event-like moment in 2025 game-wise that could usher in enough revenue to really raise all tides. Since of course Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed, we know that already, this is all the industry really has got to keep them going in an influx in 2025. Which is, yes, kind of scary if you make games. As seen here in this really nice graph, we can accurately view how many billions of dollars Nintendo has made in revenue over the years. And it's easy to see that their biggest year in a long time was 2021 and 22, since it was was following the whole COVID thing, and people were obviously still inside and playing more games, which led to a big boom for Nintendo. But their most recent fiscal year ended in March 30th, 2025, bringing their fiscal year total to $7.6 billion, which is, by the way, a 30% dip from the year prior. Their profits also dropped around 45% year over year, and Nintendo only managed to sell 11.5 million consoles in 2024, which is less than half of what they sold at their peak during COVID, as they say here. As the second Trump administration started up, Nintendo began front-running shipments to get ahead of possible future tariffs. JP Morgan estimated in early April that Nintendo had enough inventory to meet demand for 6 months to a year. Yet, despite this, Nintendo has sold out of pre-orders for the Switch 2 already. So, this could be a good sign that the industry as a whole might be on the track back to being healthy again. But overall, Nintendo, according to Fortune Asia here with their article, is scaling back their projections. They don't actually think that the Switch 2 will be hitting record highs for them, although it could still be too early to tell. And they bring up a good point that the initial boom may be good, but the real test will actually be this Christmas season. How will people look at the Switch 2 when the glitz and glamour wears off and it's seen more as a regular console come this fall? And without the fear of FOMO or hype, will people still buy the console at its asking price? Also, knowing that the games retail for practically, 25% of the console per game sold too is kind of crazy. But the hope here is that with Nintendo releasing a console that is cheaper than say a PS5 Pro or a high-end gaming PC, that a lower spec console might push studios and publishers to spend less and make less graphically impressive games to keep their costs down. But then the issue there is that while the games may cost less to make or develop for these publishers in the future, that they're still going to be charging instead premium $80 or $90 price points per game anyway. So effectively, the hope here is that the industry wants people to pay more for games that are also less graphically impressive than what they got beforehand for cheaper, and they want you to be okay with it. But will you be okay with that or not? I guess let me know that in the comments.
Probably not. I'm not buying into any of this bullshit. That's I don't know. I just never got into Nintendo stuff outside of like the old school like GameCube and playing Super Smash like Melee. That was pretty much most of what we played with my like group of friends or whatever. We just because our Super Smash like Melee disc got stuck in the GameCube and we just called it the Smash Cube. And we played hundreds of hours of Melee on that thing. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be like that for now.
Comments, by the way, but overall, whether this is good or bad for the industry is kind of a mixed bag in my opinion, because nothing here tells me that this is good for the industry when they want to charge more effectively for less in the long run. And I think if even Nintendo is losing profits like this year over year, 45%, remember, that's a lot of money to lose year over year, then many people will be obviously voting with their wallets in the long run. But in the short term, yeah, Nintendo is gonna make a lot of money from this launch, but these are the Nintendo diehard fans. That's kind of expected to happen.
What the fuck was that minigame? Sorting envelopes into a file using the mouse feature? What the hell is this? Oh, let's give them something. Let's give all the brokies something they're familiar with. Let's have is this like a Mario Party game or something? Sort the envelopes with the mouse? What the this is the game breaking like the new gameplay loop?
These are the Nintendo diehard fans. That's kind of expected to happen.
Bro, I could do that right now with my mouse. Oh, look. I could move it right there. I could select that thing and move it right there. I could do it better, right? I could do that right now. I don't need to spend like $500 to do that shit. What are we doing?
But for example, I don't really want to Switch 2 at all. And as someone who isn't an acolyte of Nintendo and can see what they're doing without rose-tinted glasses, what they're actually selling here, frankly, is not worth buying for me, at least at all. My PS5 Pro outclasses this thing in every single way. I frankly just don't really need it. And I'm not really okay with paying insane prices for games that look a generation or two behind either. Nintendo may have just opened the box of Pandora, but I don't think it's really for the right reasons. Either way, you win in the end anyways, because you can either just ignore their insane business practices completely and just save your money, or you can just close your wallet and play your obviously probably huge backlogs of games instead that are far cheaper and full of content already and are probably less buggier too. And instead, just wait years, really, until things inevitably have to backpedal their greed because nobody's buying. And it's actually kind of crazy how the industry doesn't quite realize that players, honestly, just need to be lazy and cheap to win in the end, pretty much. And maybe that's the
You'll always win. Just do nothing and you will win.
good thing part of all of this, I guess. But I do wonder where the industry will go from now, but that's what I got for you today. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more news. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Damn. So it seems like Switch 2 popped off, kinda. Not really. It did like okay. I mean, it sold out. I mean, it is what it is. I'm American. I'm made of money. Right? That's what they all think. I mean, we'll see this Christmas. I mean, as he said. But this is like, that's crazy, dude. What's the vibe? I'm 45 years old with a high income to buy Switch 2 without any problem. Still won't do it, even if the game looks good. Due to their business practices, the industry needs a reset. Yeah, and don't forget, it's Nintendo. Nintendo has like done a shitload of stupid things. YouTubers, do not buy Switch 2. Also, YouTubers. So I picked up the Switch 2 at launch. You can't make this up. Yeah, I mean, content creators are gonna do their content creator thing. Oh, look it over here. You got game ranks. Before you buy the Switch 2, over there. I mean, the content creators, they can't really like moralize this because it's their job. So it's understandable. But for like regular ass people, where we depend on like some sort of like trust from like reviewers or whatever to try to justify like, should I buy this thing or not? Especially like the higher the price tag is for like whatever the thing. Like, let's take the video game or console aspect out of it. Pick like some other thing in your life that's a huge investment, like a car, motorcycle, like a big ass like couple $1,000 doodad or whatever. You probably don't want to buy it off like just willy-nilly, right? Like, oh, I see it, I'm gonna buy it. Don't look at the reviews on it, whatever. All right, you probably don't want to do that, right? You probably want to get a review on the thing that you're about to drop a couple $1,000s on, right? I don't know, dude. We'll see what's gonna happen with the Switch 2 and the $80 digital, $90 physical. It's kind of silly, I have to say that now. Price points for some of these games, but overall, cool video, and we'll play it as it lies, I guess. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.